The last module that teachers can use with their students will then be the interpretation of the data. What we are going to be using is a document that's called the Santa Clara Watershed Assessment. And this watershed assessment was developed by the non-governmental organization that is compiling the non-point and point source pollution issues in the Santa Clara River.
Two examples of non-point source pollution of the Santa Clara River is storm water runoff, agricultural runoff, residential runoff, and highway runoff, aerial deposition. Okay, what is biological oxygen demand? Yeah.
Biological oxygen demand is the amount of dissolved oxygen needed by aerobic decomposers to break down the organic materials in a given volume of water at a certain temperature over a specific time period.
Great, thank you. So we will use this document along with our data to interpret what the pollution is and why it's a problem, how it's regulated, and how it's mitigated. So that will be our last video module. This document, that is the student document, will be available also to the high school teachers, and you can use all the documents will be there for you. So this last segment you could do with or without our video. You could do it just as a standalone in your classroom. You'd have all the documents to be able to do this interpretation, and we will include for you a digital set of data that's easy to see and you can print off in your classroom. So that's our last component.
This last module will give you an idea of how the students can interpret this data. Basically, your students, though, are the ones that will be interpreting the data. But by looking at this module, you'll see how our students did it. You may show this to your students so they can get an idea, or you may not show it to them and just let them interpret the data completely on their own.
There also is a writing product available. Part of what we have in the student materials is a synthesis product where the students will interpret and synthesize all of these concepts into a written document. And of course, this is very important in our new core curriculum that's coming out through the state and federal areas. And we'll talk more about that in a second.